Welcome back. Well, it was a bit of a different story tonight. Vancouver and Calgary. The last time that I recapped a game between these two teams, the final score was 10 nothing for for Calgary. So a little bit different tonight. It was Markstrom versus Demko. I love that matchup. I will never get tired of that matchup. Early jump was for the Flames. Good flow. Not that they were getting to the net. And then the Canucks scored on their first shot. It's Tyler Myers from Miller and DiGiuseppe at 108. There's been a lot of talk about Myers and how he's actually playing well in the preseason, which has thrown some people off a little bit. I will say this. I think that a lot of the dislike people have for Myers' game is based on his contract. If it was a much cheaper contract, I don't think we'd hear as much discussion. So it was through a screen as well. Besser was screening there. Besser honestly was a good net presence all night. He doesn't get a goal tonight, but I thought he was a key guy up front. Flames look to answer. There's a kick save on Tanev. Miller then clears it out. Ruzicka has a net drive that draws a power play. Back-to-back clears by the Canucks. There's a post for Dubé. Hanifin fires one wide. The power play's killed off. No shots on net. The Dubé shot does hit the post. Hunt has a net drive that saved. The rebounds cleared. The Flames press 7 minutes in. In fact, they led in shots 3-1 8 minutes into this game. Probably not the kind of start that Tocchet was looking for outside of the early goal, of course. DiGiuseppe has a rush chance that's blocked, and I love Phil DiGiuseppe's game. Please let him play with the Canucks all year. I do. I like his work ethic. I know he is not a goal scorer. He's not, your typical guy that you'd have playing important minutes, but I love his game. Anyways, Pettersson has a net feed. That was held. Sharon Govich then had a turnover chance. That was held at the other end. Not a lot of room. Both teams defending well at this point in the game. Flames press with 8.5 minutes left. Demko ends up holding on there so the Canucks can get a line change in. We get a power play for the Canucks. Patterson's denied. Kuzmenko couldn't bury the rebound. Kuzmenko, some near misses there. Some nice passes, too, that didn't quite click. We'll see when the games are ones that matter this coming Wednesday, how all of this works out for them. Next, Pettersson chances saved. The rebound's cleared. Hronik fires one wide. His next chance deflects out. The power play is killed off. Joshua fires one wide on a rush, and then Kadri buries one from the side of the net. He scores that one from Huberdeau and Weegar at 15-18. It was right on the line, and then Kadri puts it in. Canucks were guilty of running around a little bit. That is the only time that's on the board in this entire game. This is a little bit different, and I know it's preseason. I know it doesn't mean anything. However, you can see that some of the systems that Tocchet's been preaching and really given to these guys, they seem to be listening. So the Canucks press with 3 minutes left. Blueger nearly buries one. The Flames get pinned down as the Canucks manage to get a change in as well. Soucy has a shot that saved. The Flames can't clear until the second attempt. Weegar misses with a near miss on a net drive as the game reaches the final minute of the first period. We go a long stretch without a whistle. In fact, from that 1-1 goal by Kadri right till the end of the period, there are no whistles. So nicely played, fast game. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period, early jump for the Flames, but they're kept to the outside. Flames press, Hughes without a stick. Canucks don't bend on that one, and I was actually impressed. Usually, in a Canucks game when the defenseman's without a stick, I'm like, well, that's it, it's going in. So Kuzmenko to Besser, there's a near miss there. Zadorov challenges Juleson after a hit on Coronado, which was clean, but still Zadorov didn't like it. Power play for the Canucks ends up coming out of that as a result with a little scrumminess that goes on afterwards. Canucks with an early icing. That's not a great start to your power play. They finally get set up. Patterson's denied. The power play's killed off, and that was the only chance generated during that power play for Vancouver. Flames then get a turn on the power play. They cycle. The Canucks block. Kadri's denied. They cycle again. The Canucks block some more. But they couldn't get it cleared out. Demko finally covers it. And then on the ensuing play, the power play is killed off. Juleson has a shot that deflects out as the Canucks press. Suter with a near miss. The rebound is then held. Canucks with some momentum, but they needed some more shots. They weren't generating a lot on Markstrom at this point. Blueger's denied in close. Markstrom holds. Pettersson nearly gets one. The Flames then rush. Miller was robbed on a turnover chance from the slot. Coronado has a rush chance that's saved. And then on a fast break, Teddy Blueger. I am a fan of Teddy Blueger, of course. He scores from Quinn Hughes at 13:55. Was a nice pass by Hughes to set it up. And Blueger has said he intends to score some points and help with that depth scoring for the Canucks. If he can score like that, I think he'll be a popular guy. And then they celebrated with punching, which I thought was nice. There's nothing to me that's more humorous and more hockey then right after you score a goal, you get involved in a bit of a fracas, a bit of a fight after. Canucks go right back to the power play as a result. Pettersson has a blast that's saved. They cycle. Miller fans on one. The Flames couldn't clear it out. 4:20 left in the second. So again, I'm going to talk about John Shorthouse for a moment here. Talked about this last season. I'm mentioning it again here. In every game he calls, he says 4:20 left in whatever period it is. It seems like an oddly specific time that he mentions, and I'm just saying this. Canuck fans, listen to when John Shorthouse is calling the game. Every game, the period is not the same period that he'll say to him, but he always says 4:20 left. It's like, that's an oddly specific amount of time left. Anyways, Besser's robbed as the power play ends. It's legal in Canada. It's all good. Bluger gets dinged on a Tanev shot. The Canucks get hemmed in at this stage. Soucy gets shaken up as well. So this is where things get kind of ugly. And it looked like it was his knee. Looked like he twisted it. He does exit. He did not return to the game. So this is a team that's already talking about defense by committee, and nobody's necessarily going to have the same partner one night to the next. And now the guy that you get as a free agent in the offseason is out. And I mean, Soucy. Cole's the other one that got as a free agent too, but that has to be concerning. Anderson has a blast that's held. The Flames had their best stretch of the game at this point, and then DiGiuseppe makes it 3-1. Roofs it in close. So there's goal scoring for you. Besser and Pettersson with the assists at 19 minutes and 13 seconds. So not too shabby. The Flames looked to answer after that, but they ran out of time. So after 2 periods, the score is 3-1 for Vancouver. And again, to start the third period, Soucy not on the bench. They announced at this point he would not return. An early shot by Coronado, that goes wide. Besser has a shot that deflects out. The Hughes plays some keep away. He takes the puck in center ice, takes it in the Flame zone, skates it around for a bit. He's very good at that. And the pairings, of course, kind of in chaos a bit because Soucy out of the game, so the Canucks down to 5 defensemen. Kuzmenko to Garland, that gets picked off. The Flames rush. Garland being given an opportunity in the top 6 tonight, but I don't know if he's going to be there come opening night for them. Suter has a net feed, that's picked off as the Canucks press. Canucks back checking well, and I'm going to throw this in here. Looking a little trappy. I put that on the board. So, it occurred to me as this game went along, and we've got these systems that Tocchet's put in. If the Canucks are going to make the playoffs, they're probably not going to do it playing really pretty hockey. And Rick Tocchet, when he was in Arizona, there were some real slogs of games when he was coaching Arizona. If you're relying purely just on the speed, the skill, and all that, the Canucks could fall behind other teams in the West. So they may have to play this way. They may have to play a trapping style of hockey. And based on the fact they only gave up 18 shots tonight, that's what I took out of this, is we may see some trapping hockey. It wasn't a neutral zone trap, but man, all the blue jerseys were back every time. The Canucks had the lone shot on net 5 minutes in. That's another way to tell you're watching a game that's got some neutral zone trap going on with it, or just some trapping hockey where you're keeping them to the outside. And I thought the Flames did a good job of that at points as well. So stretch pass to Pettersson ends up missing, goes for icing. Weegar has a net drive chance, that's held. Dubé had a 3-on-2 chance, that was blocked out. Beauvillier then misses high on a rush of his own. Besser had a rush chance, that was blockered aside by Markstrom. Zone time for the Flames, but the Canucks are all back. So every time the Flames had any kind of pressure, any kind of cycle going on, the Canucks were all back, all 5 jerseys, which, again, for the Vancouver Canucks, team defense has been a struggle for them over the years. If they can maintain this, we'll see what happens, right? So plenty of icings by the Canucks as well. They clearly weren't scared of icing the puck. Didn't bother them. Kadri was denied on a tip attempt. The Canucks cleared out. Amon has a net drive chance, that's saved. Suter to Joshua, near miss. Beauvillier is a shot that's held. I thought Joshua was playing a really good physical game. I do think that he's going to have to dial it back a little bit once we get to the regular season, only because there's some stuff that wasn't being called tonight that I think once it gets to the regular season might be. The Flames were having turnover issues with about 5 minutes left, but they do recover and clear it out. The Canucks press, they're kept to the outside, but with 2:48 left, the Canucks draw a power play. They cycle. Pettersson has a shot that's blocked. The next chance was held. It's more cycling, and then Mackenzie Weegar clears it out. That power play is killed off. Joshua then flattens Coronado in the final minute. So one thing with this kid for the Calgary Flames, he's got to keep his head up. He's got to watch, because yeah, teams knowing that he's this young gun for the Flames, they're going to do this. They did pull the goaltender in the final minute, but they weren't able to set anything up. So your final score is 3-1 for Vancouver. They finished the preseason with a record of 2-3-1. The Flames finished the preseason with a record of 4-3-1. The Canucks, the shots tell the story here. 9-6 Vancouver in the first, 11-8 Vancouver in the second, 11-4 Vancouver in the third. The final shots 31-18 for Vancouver. Calgary goes 0-2 on the power play. The Canucks 0-4. The hits 16-14 Vancouver. I wouldn't be surprised if all 16 of those were from Dakota Joshua. Markstrom saved 28 out of 31. Demko saved 17 out of 18. Demko was good. He wasn't busy. Markstrom, of the 3 goals, I don't know that there's one that I think he could have stopped. The Myers one initially didn't look great, but then you looked at the replay and he was screened on it. So there you go. Game doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot, but it's done. And I thought it was more important that the Canucks finished the preseason on a high than on a low. But again, preseason, they end up winning 2 out of 6. They only had their regular lineup in 2 out of the 6 games as well. So we'll see what happens once the games matter next Wednesday. So, yeah, the Canucks are opening up against the Oilers. And for the Flames, it's the Leafs. The Jets. I think it's the Jets. Yeah, it's the Jets because Toronto's playing Montreal, and then I think Ottawa has Carolina. So, at any rate, all the Canadian teams play on Wednesday. I'll be here on Wednesday to track as much of that action as possible. Between now and then, I will be putting up a lot of videos to keep you guys entertained. But remember, tomorrow we're having a street hockey meetup in Coquitlam, so I'm not going to be watching the games tomorrow. The last Saturday I have without a bunch of games and then a power rankings as well. Although don't be surprised if a power rankings goes up tomorrow night. Just saying. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.